In this video we are going to learn how to make a cupcake applique. Isn't it gorgeous? So to make the cupcake applique, what we're going to do is make a slip knot. Then we are going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to do 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we are going to chain 1, and then in the back loop only we're going to do 4 single crochets. So not the front loop, just the back loop. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to do 4 singles in the back loop only again. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to chain 1 again. And then we're going to turn, and then again in the back loop only we're going to do 4 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to chain 1 and turn again, and we're going to do 4 singles in the back loop only again. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now your cupcake case should look like this. Got some nice little lines down it on both sides, look. So this is the part of the cupcake that we want facing the right way. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn our cupcake case round, so that when we start with the next row, because we're going to do one this way and one this way, we'll get the neatest stitches on the front of the cupcake. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to join our new yarn here. I've chosen a nice pink. You can choose whatever colour you want, of course. Chain 1, and then in here we're going to do a single crochet. What am I doing? Let's hold that yarn over there. We're going to do a single crochet in this stitch. We need 7 single crochets evenly spaced along the top of the cupcake case. So that's 2, oops, 3, and 4, 5, 6, and then in there we want our 7th. Come on, be good. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1 and turn, and then we're going to do a half double crochet into the first stitch. We are going to do a double into the second stitch, and then in the next 3 stitches we are going to do treble. So that's 1. Come on, be good. 2, and then we've got 3, and then in the next stitch we're going to have a double, and then in the final stitch we're going to have a half double crochet, and a slip stitch. That is our cupcake so far, but we want it to have a nice little cherry on the top, don't we? So we're going to fasten that off, and we are going to pull that through there. We'll sew in the ends in a minute. And now what we need to do is, for the cherry, we need to find the 4th stitch. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go in here. We're going to find a red for the cherry. I've got a nice glittery one. And what we're going to do is a slip stitch, just to join really there, like that. So chain, we're going to slip stitch, and then we are going to do a single crochet and an increase into the next stitch. An increase is just 2 singles in the same one, and then we're going to do a slip stitch into there. And then we are going to fasten that off, pull that through, and then we've just got some ends to sort out. Not even pulling the right one, that's why it's not working. There you go. So there's our cherry on the top of our cupcake, and then let's sort these ends out. So because we've crocheted over this end and this end, we can just snip them off, not that one, those two. So we are just going to literally snip that off, and then we need to sew in this end. Now I like to try and go through the bottom of the stitches if I can, to make it a bit more inconspicuous. I'm going to actually go this way, I think. Yeah, this way. We're going to go under here, look, through here, and then I'm going to go up through these stitches here. I just want it to be as inconspicuous as possible. It's quite hard when it's this small, but it is doable. See? Not too bad. Don't pull it too tight though, because otherwise it will look a bit weird. And then I'm just anchoring it, and then I'll go back the other way. So I'm going to anchor it over that point and just go back, not all the way, just a few stitches. Then we are going to snip it off. And then we'll work on the cupcake one, on the case, this one. So I'm just going to darn my end, and then give it a little, can't decide which way looks nicer, that way or that way. I think it is actually that way. So yeah, we're going to go through these little stitches here. And then we'll anchor it and go back the other way. Don't pull it too tight though, or we'll lose the shape of the cupcake. And pull that through, just like that. Now we've just got the cherry on the top to sort out, which shouldn't be too hard, to be honest. So I've already crocheted over this bit here. So I'm just going to go back through there, just give it a little bit of an anchor. It's quite hard when it's this small. And then use that one there to anchor and go back through that one. And then one more, just this end left to go. And I'm going to go back through the back, just because it makes it look neater on the front. There we go. And go back through again here. And then I'm going to snip it off. And here we have our beautiful little cupcake. Ta-da!